at the same. Okay, this is now the 1901. Sorry, this is the 1901 census ordnance survey map for Laurel Hill, and you can see here the hospital, which I'm not going to talk an awful lot about today. Laurel Hill here with the big house, the porch at the front of it, the brewery buildings, and still in New Street down here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 houses in New Street in 1901 in the census, where there's 6 today. You still have the 4 above that, and the far side of the street where Mary was, the 4 houses have now gone, and 2 houses have been built. But there's space where an original houses must have been the original part of the Mash house, and this is the.
When was it built then?
Sorry?
What year was those 2 houses built? Our 2 houses then?
I don't know. 1880, 1870s.
1911.
Pardon?
1911 maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
These houses.
Yeah, because they're on the convent grounds, and nuns may have built them. Yeah, could be that late. Yeah, I'd say something like that.
They wouldn't be the original.
Oh no. Some of it would be. At some stage, I think they must have added a second floor.
Probably.
I don't think the second floor is original. Not in the original Mash house. It would just have been sort of like a shed. You know, men wouldn't be working upstairs. They couldn't have lifted up the vats full of water upstairs. Right? Now, just for the railway, and I just wanted to again get people into the idea that as you go out the road and you see a lovely little weaver's house, would you take a photograph of it, please? These things are all falling down, and worse, are getting knocked down. In the age of construction, when we were part of the British Empire, my God, we could build things. Now that we're not part of the British Empire anymore, we're destruction, so we knock everything down, and these things will all fall. This is the fabulous Tasson Viaduct on the Castleblayney Railway, and if you haven't been up to that, drive up and have a look at this. And to stand, you can drive down and stand underneath the bridge and look up at it. It is a fantastic construction. If you it's on the, just drive on up the Katy Road and go from Katy to Armagh, it'll be on the right hand side there. You can't miss it. Easy to find. This is a lovely construction. This is an original 1845 railway bridge. This is out the Dundalk Road. Just drive out the Dundalk Road and keep looking, and you go past Shoe City, and it's on the right hand side of the road there. And it's got beautiful stonework in it, and inside it, lovely red brick work. And it's been there since the railway was first built about 1847-48. Now, the railway in Castleblayney was built during the famine, right? And these men went down with shovels and spades and wheelbarrows, and that's all they had. And when you see what they could do. Now, I know Patsy Lamb and I spoke, one of the legends in that area was that people could come down for a day and work and get their few pence for working for the day, but they had to have food with them, because during the famine. And the boys who run the railway didn't want a whole lot of people who were starving to death coming down and dying on the railway. So you had, as you came onto the railway that morning to work, you had to have food with you. So what they did was, they got 2 big pieces of flat stone, and they wrapped them in a handkerchief, and it looked like sandwiches, and they carried it like that down, and the boy thought they were bringing sandwiches with them for their dinner, and they had no food at all. Down they went and worked. At the end of the day, they were paid. And they dug it the whole way from Dundalk to Castleblayney, opened in Castleblayney, and then the whole way to Ballybay, and then to Clonus, Enniskillen, and it was a massive railway. And some of the constructions are still standing. This is the same, no, this is a different one, sorry. This is on the Dundalk Road as well. Now, sorry, the first one's on the left, this is on the right. And they're more same, quite identical, they're quite identical. The later ones have a bit more red and yellow brick in them. This is a beautiful one. This is on the Derek Creevy Road, right? And to stand underneath this, look, this is a lovely construction. Go out the Katy Road, the manse is up on your right. You know the manse? Edmund Mallon's house up there on the right. There's a wee road down to the left. Just drive down there, and it's on that. You'll go underneath that bridge. It was quite a difficult drive yesterday because there's so many bushes coming in. The wee warning thing on my car kept telling me I was crashing into something. Even though we were that road. But it's well grown in. And this, of course, is over the Derek Creevy River, just at the end of the town there. The river, which flows into Loch Mucknock, goes over it. Again, it's a beautiful construction. Not circular. This is more oval shape. This is the 1911 Castleblayney to Cady Railway. And all of these things are out there, and if you find any of them, and they're still standing, take a photograph. Castleblayney Railway Station, you all know this one. You've probably seen this photograph anyway. Looking back towards the railway station. This is looking out of one of the later diesel engines. Most of the trains that came into Castleblayney Station were steam. But of course, in the last few years before the station closed down, they went to diesel. And I think this photograph was taken. Now, if anybody wants, I don't know with this one, but a young gentleman here, presumably your son Barry, is he, Paul? Barry Short? Yep. Wrote an essay in 1995 called Castleblayney, History of the Castleblayney Railway Line. And it's a fabulous document. It's got a lot of stuff in it I have no idea what it means. He talks about the engines. The first engines were built in Dundalk, apparently, and the pattern was set at 440 for passenger trains and 060. I don't know what all that means. It's obviously something to do with the width of the number of wheels on the carriages. But he does explain it, and he tells the whole history of it, how it originated, who the original engineers were, and when they came through, and he tells stories. The two things that I always found very interesting in it was, one, there were excursions, and one excursion was you got a train from Castleblayney to Dundalk, which took you out to Greenore, and there was a little ship there, a sailing ship, and you sailed down to Dunleary, right, for the day, and then sailed back up again, go back in the train and come back to Castleblayney. For a long time you couldn't go directly to Dublin because the big viaduct over the Boyne at Drogheda wasn't built. So when you got to the Boyne at Drogheda, you had to get off the train and get into a carriage, and horses then had to take you over a bridge and to the other side, and then you had on another train to take you all the way into Dublin. But we were on the main Dundalk and Skillen Railway. And worth reading this now, if Barry has no objection, I'll make you a copy to the library here just to have on this. It's definitely well worth reading. And he mentions names of people, historical people, Charles Stewart Parnell's visit, historical events, the riots after the 12th marches, and all that sort of stuff. Notable accidents, and of course young Reynolds lost an arm on the railway in the 1950s. And very, very good. And apart from the few bits of technical stuff I didn't understand, it's a fabulous essay. It was done as an Irish Times competition, and definitely it's worth having, and we'll try to make it public so people at least can, if there's no copyright on it. And the railway station deserves, again, we should be. Declan Flanagan has done great work on it, and the photographs that he's got and photographs that he's saved. And Sheila here has her. No, it's Geraldine has got them. Sorry, has got the dinner placemats for dinner, and they're all photographs of Castleblayney railway stations and so on. At least he's preserving images of what it looked like. This one, of course, you know. This is Taylor's Tunnel, which is still standing. Originally known as Swansea's Tunnel, because Swansea's lived in Paddy Tavi's house. It probably today should be Tavi's Tunnel. And it goes under the road, and it's still there. And another lovely construction. This is the station itself. Now, somebody named on Castleblayney days gone by who the boys were. Are you one of them? No? Someone on Castleblayney that days gone by knew who the boy was lying on the railway station and named him. You thought maybe one of the Hopkins, maybe someone like that. It was somebody from the Cranston. Well, anyway, I must look that up. It's also a great photograph because the houses on the other side of the street are very, very good, and it shows you what it's like. Terrace Tunnel is in the distance there, and the train on the move. Bobby Beggs getting in and turning the handle and moving everything. And there's a lot of very good photographs here, all of the. This is the GNR, 1924 staff. Not all of them have names yet. We don't know who most of them were. And this one is in the Castleblayney book that was done in the year 2000. And this one at least names the staff. Willie Beggs, Arthur McCardle, P.J. McKenna. Many of them lived in New Street. Sammy Hughes, Peter Burton lived across the street. M. Carraher, whoever he is, and that's the staff. Now, eventually, of course, the railway line closed in 1957. That's when the passengers ended, and this, of course, is the last train to Clarksville. And all very, very familiar looking faces there, with Peter McEnany being prominent, and of course Wee Paddy. Every photograph of Castleblayney has Wee Paddy in it. You always notice that. Paddy Cole, P.J. McCardle, and so on, they were all there for the closing of it. And this is one of the best photographs, I think, because of the information it gives us. This is one of Dr. Clark's photographs. And it tells you on top of the train there that this is the Greenore to Bundoran railway via Dundalk. So now, going to Greenore is very, very important because practically everybody in the late 19th century who emigrated from this area to America went to Greenore. They got the train in the station here in Castleblayney, took them to Dundalk, on out to Greenore. The ferry went from Greenore to Holyhead, which is the narrowest crossing point on the Irish Sea. And then you got the train in Holyhead, which took you into Liverpool, and then on to the Titanic, or whatever the big ship was that was going to America at that time, and that's where you got the ship from. It was actually quicker to get from here, once the railway came, to get from here to Liverpool, to get the boat, than it was to get to Cove, right, to go down the country. It was quicker to go to Liverpool. And before we had a railway, people went to Derry to go that way to America. But these are people, I'm assuming, who are going on holiday for the week in Bundoran, right? And everybody here will remember either going for the week in Bundoran or the week to Blackrock. You went the other way. And we all remember that wet Monday afternoons sitting in Blackrock and the rain pouring down. And the highlight of the week was getting into Dundalk for a fish and chips and malakas and an ice cream, and you enjoyed your day at the seaside. I presume, judging by the way they're dressed, that they're heading to the seaside and probably to Bundoran. I didn't mention Our Lady's Hospital. There's far too much is needed to be done on that one. So that's more or less the end of New Street. Any questions anyone have before we finish? Sorry? Livestock. Yes. Horses in particular. Yeah. There was a field somewhere where they kept the horses in. It's mentioned in Barry's essay. Now, my father named the Belgian buyer as Alfonso van Rompuy. And there's a guy in the European Parliament, a commissioner from Belgium called Van Rompuy. I don't know who's related to him. And Van Rompuy bought horses to bring to Belgium. My father bought the horses to eat them. I thought they would have bought them for cavalry, for the army, but he thinks they were eating the horses. There were horses and cattle, and the huge thing that we exported were eggs. Something like 2 million eggs went out of the station here every year. And the eggs would go the whole way to Liverpool and the big cities in England. And they're all those white boxes you see in all those photographs are all eggs been taken up to the railway station. But I mean, the railway is going to be worth a book, and there should be. Now, in Louise here, it's not there at the moment, and is talking about getting. She's got the photographs in the books at the back there. Anyone who wants to look at them, some nice photographs of maybe trying to put a whole photographic exhibition across the street here, and preserve all these photographs. Are now easy to copy. You can just scan them. You've got a copy of them, and start to tell our story properly. Okay.
Is that what the lead went out as well?
Sorry?
The lead went out the railway too.
The what?
The lead.
Lead?
No.
Was what?
Did that go out the railway as well?
I presume so, although the lead mine out the road was closed by 1870, you know. There wasn't that much lead taken
The
out.
old chips.
Sorry?
The old chips. Small chips.
Yeah.
The old chips, they came out as well, I think.
Sorry?
Chips. They were day old.
Yes.
One day
1 day
old.
old, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of stuff going in and out was colossal. So thank you very much. We're back on 12th Eve is our next talk.